Hello guys, si Kiashan Velasco ulit ito at welcome sa episode 47 ng laro tayo ng Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut main campaign. So okay guys, nung muling episode natin guys, na-encounter na natin si Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Kaya lang pumalpak yung pagkaka-rescue ko sa pagkaka-encounter ko sa kanya eh. Kailangan dapat mag-agree siya na hindi, wag na niya ituloy yung plano niya. So, sige, ulitin ko. Skip ko na lang yung dialogue na nabasa na natin. Babasahin ko na lang yung bagong results. Kasi practice ko na ulit muna yung encounter, yung dialogue na yun kung paano siya paano pa babaguhin yung isip niya. Kailangan pala talagang kulitin ko siya tungkol doon sa kapatid niya. So, subukan natin ulit. Okay, skip ko na lang tong part na to. So, yung una dito, pinili ko dito, that's on you, Doc. You got some explaining to do. So, ibay natin. So, kailangan kalmado lang. And you must be Dr. Vauclair. That's right. He scowls. I don't know why you insist on interfering with my work, but I assure you, that's over now. He reaches down, flips a switch. You hear a loud thud and a click behind you as the door locks shut. You'll find that the last door behind you is sealed and that the laboratory you occupy is fully secured. An important precaution. We keep our test subjects in there, and they are far more dangerous than you. He takes a drag on his cigarette. I won't permit you to cause any further harm. Shadowrunner, you will remain trapped here. You will remain trapped where you are for your own good. Ito yung una pinili ko nun yung let us out of here, Vauclair. We need to talk. So dapat dapat na pala kalmante lang so to remain silent. Now he fixes you with a level stare. I want to know why in hell you so violently interjected yourself into my business. First, you break into my estate, which you didn't even know was mine, apparently. Then you spend what must have been a small fortune to track me down. You locate my AI, destroy it, then drive all the way out to the countryside, and finally you shoot your way into my laboratory. He leans forward, hands on the table, his eyes narrowed into a piercing stare. So I have to ask you, Shadowrunner, who are you and why in God's name are you here? Saan na yan? We're going to find you, Vauclair, to help us stop Firewing. Except the Firewing wasn't the one after us after all. It was you all along. Vauclair sighs, covers his face with his pale, nicotine-stained hands. To help you stop Firewing? That is ironic. But yes, you are correct. I am the one who has been hunting you. The one who sent Apex and Audron after you. You're going to pay for that, you bastard. Why attack the Chris Bazaar, Vauclair? Why kill Paul Amsel? Break the grasses. Ito lang. Yung same options. So, hindi ko nababasahin to. Tapos ito, dito. Your brother got us into this mess. He heard us. Ito. We found out about you from your brother, Vauclair. He was trying to find you right up to the end. I'm sorry, Doc. He was digging too deeply into Firewing, so Apex killed him. He slumps into the chair next to him. His whole body is shaking. I didn't... He's suddenly overcome by another fit of coughing. He steadies himself on the arm of the chair. Apex. He clutches his chest. I should have never trusted that thing. Okay, so ito. Also what, Vauclair? Tell me what's going to happen tonight. You killed my friend, asshole. And now I'm supposed to feel sorry for you? Paano si your modified virus? What's tonight, Doctor? Tata dapat. All for what, Vauclair? Tell me what's going to happen tonight. You owe her me that much. He looks up dazed, his eyes unfocused. What's going to happen? Oh yes, tonight. Tonight will be the end of the dragons. Not just Firewing, all dragons. Saan ba maganda dito? Explain yourself na lang. Explain yourself, Doctor. Vauclair fumbles in his pockets, produces a fresh cigarette. He lights it with shaking hands and breathes in deeply. The orange glow of the cigarette flares bright. When he exhales, the words spill out with the smoke. The Firewing burned and murdered and caused... hindi, skip na natin to. Tapos... dapat daw kalmado lang go on. He is racked again by violent coughing. Allows it to subside. Takes another long drag on his cigarette. The ash creeping closer and closer towards his mouth. I have leukemia, cancer of the blood. No doubt brought on by the radiation of the SOX. It was when I heard my doctor's diagnosis that I realized what I had to do, what my life's work would be in the time I had left. I'm sorry, Hermie. I'm sorry you won't be able to see it for yourself. I'm sorry I failed you. Vauclair turns his attention back to the computer, stabbing out his cigarette. He grabs a fresh one from his pack and lights it. Tonight, I will release my panacea to the world. And how absurd that the instrument of dragonkind's destruction. He presses a button on the terminal and a large observation... alam ko na to. Nabasa na natin to. Yung in-explain niya yung in-explain niya na papatay niya. Gagamitin niya si Firewing para magkalat ng virus. Hang on a second. You're going to seek the Firewing on Berlin? I understand your reasoning, but there has to be a better way. Hold on, what exactly are you going to do to Berlin? So, ito na lang. Kailangan kalmado lang eh. He continues his work, filled with a feverish energy. Sadly, there is not. If there were, I would gladly take it. For panacea to work, Berlin must burn. A tragic sacrifice, but one made for the greater good. Firewing will breathe her at an end. In-explain niya yung okay. Tapos dito sa option na to, you don't burn. How are you going to get Firewing? I hate to say it, Doctor, but I think that I agree. How are you going to... Ito, paano niya yung explain yung plan niya? Oh, that's simple enough. He gestures to his left. She has no choice. The gaunt woman in the containment cell stands rigidly. Her face pressed against the glass, her haunted yellow eyes tracking your every move. She appears frightened, disoriented, lost her mouth moves silently, her voice muted by her glass cage. So the stories Greenwinter found were true. Firewing's astral form was separated from from her body when she fell. You trapped it somehow? Yes, but that came later. In 2012, we took down Firewing with an experimental weapon. This device, suffice it to say, I couldn't fully predict how it would affect her. In 2036, I led a research team into the SOX. I had to know what really happened to the creature that I had slain. We found her alive in a way. The dragon's astral form, her spirit you might say, had been ripped from her body by the weapon. It was trapped inside a young woman living in the SOX. A mob of glowpunks revered her, treated her like a goddess. I transported the young woman and the dragon's body here, where I could study them. You mean that she's been in that cell for almost 20 years? The old man nods absently. No choice. A creature separated from its astral form cannot live more than a few hours before both dies. It was the high-intensity radiation of the SOX combined with the magical creature inside her that allowed the woman to live for as long as she has. So, Vauclair seems almost eager to explain. The environment within her containment chamber mirrors that of the SOX. It has allowed us to keep Firewing alive all these years, while her bestial shell remains chained up below. Now, as for her physical form, that will be simple as well. We've drilled a series of electrical charges directly into her skull. When we release the Firewing's body, empty of her astral self, we will trigger all of the vicious instincts and primal urges left in her reptile brain. She will unleash her fire when we command it. I'd go insane if I was trapped like that for 20 years. That's horrific, even for a mass murdering dragon. Astral dragon stuck in a jar. Big dumb dragon, body rigged up to obey your command. Got it? Okay, so dapat kalmado lang sa ito. He shakes his head. Misplaced empathy. That beast blazed a path of fire destruction across Germany. But no matter, I have more important things to do than to debate the morality of this with you. Firewing must fly, Berlin must be sacrificed, and it must be tonight. Now, where is that damned Audron? Break the glass. You don't. I don't like what you're planning, Vauclair, but if it kills the dragons, maybe it's worth it. There. Yung unang sagot ko nun, yung murder. Skip na natin yan, okay. Tapos to. Skip. Tapos. He trembles, his voice dropping to a whisper. That I will not allow. What if this virus mutates into a strain that can kill us too? So tama, ito, magandang tanong nan. An intelligent question from the Shadowrunner. Surprising. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to explain it to you in detail, and since you are locked in that laboratory with no chance of escape, I don't really need to. But understand this, I am an expert in my field. That is not an idle piece. It is a certifiable fact. But understand this, I am an expert in my field. That is not an idle boast. It is a certifiable fact. And I have worked with nearly unlimited resources for over 40 years, focused on one goal. 42 years of isolation, of secrecy, dead to the world, dead to my brother, all for this, my life's mission. It will work. He looks down. I promise you. Hear me, it will work. Biotech. Your panacea is built on the back of an RNA virus, and yet you aren't worried about the possibility of mutation? It had to be an RNA virus. No choice in the matter. If panacea is to work, it must be robust, untreatable. A DNA virus wouldn't fit the bill. You aren't listening, Doctor. She's right. RNA polymerases are notoriously prone to replication errors. Any first-year biology student could tell you that. You have no way of knowing how your panacea will mutate once you let it go. You're playing with fire in every way imaginable. I am not a first-year biology student. I am at the forefront of my field, and I have told you it will work. I have spent decades on this, studying it, proving its effectiveness. Another spasm racks his chest. He leans against the desk, gasping for breath. You will respect that. You will respect that. Because I said so doesn't cut it, Doc. Not when the stakes are this high. What Raquel Siddhartha is saying makes sense, and you know it. You may be crazy, but you ain't stupid. Ito ulit option na to. Are your findings peer-reviewed, Vauclair? Or are you so invested in this idea of exterminating dragons that you're acting on faith? Vauclair stares at you through red-rimmed eyes for a long moment. And acting on faith makes for bad science? This is your point, yes? He sighs. If the draconian threat could be stopped by the scientific community, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I won't deny the risk, but this is my life's work. He spits out the words, and it is a risk worth taking. This is everything. I've heard this is everything. I've heard these arguments before. More often than I can count. They were rejected decades ago. The old man shakes his head at you. You are wasting your breath. I advise you to accept this and move on. It will all be over soon. This plan of yours killed your brother. This plan of yours killed your brother. Was it really worth it? Kailangan pa natin siya. Vauclair's fist slams into the table, sending his cigarette flying in a cascade of sparks and ash. No, nothing can make that right. Nothing. He runs a hand through his unkempt hair, blinking through a haze of sudden tears. Damn it, Hermie, why couldn't you just let me go? You don't have to add to his loss, Doctor. This doesn't need to continue. Listen to reason, Vauclair. Would Hermie want you to do this? Oh, did your brother just die? Did your brother die? That's funny because you're about to murder my entire keys. Ito sa dalawang to okay eh. Listen to reason, Vauclair. Ito na lang. You didn't know my brother, Shadowrunner. Do not presume to speak to me on his behalf. Hermie would support me in this if he knew what I know. I've watched hours of your brother's video footage, Vauclair. I probably know him better than anyone alive, except yourself. Unless he was as crazy as you are. I doubt that. Maybe he would, but that doesn't make it right. Ito. Tama naman eh, kasi yung mga ano niya, yung mga DVD files niya. His face twists an ugly sneer. You've watched footage, and that makes you think that you know the man? You know nothing. I know that he wanted you to stop all of this years ago. He begged you to, and you promised him that you'd try. Vauclair falls silent. A wisp of smoke traces its way from the tip of his cigarette to the ceiling. She's right, Vauclair. Your brother was a miserable bastard, but he did die trying to save you. If you don't turn back from this, his death will have meant nothing. Nothing at all. That's enough. Hermes' death was a tragedy. I will not let you use it to manipulate me. While Claire straightens, his expression is livid, but his body language tells a different story. The rage that shook him seems to have burned itself out. Now, he just looks tired. Break the grass. Even if we succeed at this, eliminating dragons will create a dangerous power vacuum. Look, you're not infallible. Look, if you're not infallible, Doc, you've already made mistakes here. And people did died as a result. Ito, banatan pa rin natin. If Hermie were here with us right now, listening to this conversation, he'd tell you to stop this. Deny it if you want. But you know that it's true. Banatan pa natin. Kailangan tuloy-tuloy lang. He slammed his fists again against the glass, his face contorted into a mask of rage and grief. How dare you presume to speak for my brother? To hell with letting you live. You're going to have front and center. You're going to have front and center seats for Firewing's return. I will see to it myself. You're what, Doc? Her voice is soft but firm. For a long moment, Vauclair stares at her, unmoving. Finally, his eyes flee to the ground. I'm not. If Hermie were here... Oh God. The old man continues to stare at his feet. The blood has drained from his chest, cheeks, leaving them sticky pale. If Hermie were here, he would not support this. He would point out the risks, the unknowns, the sacrifices, much as he always had before he... Vauclair's jaw clenches. The muscles of his throat tighten as he forces himself to swallow. He would try to stop me. O yan, tama. Naano natin siya. Na-jog din natin yung memory niya. You still have a chance to give him what he wanted. You can put a stop to this before more people get killed. You're damn right he would. Now, are you going to be the good man Hermie remembered you as and stop and drop this? Or are you going to stick to the mad scientist routine and force me to put you down? Thank you, Doc, but I'm still going to kill you. Itong dalawang to, hindi pa. Ito dapat. Vauclair remains silent for some time. Finally, the old man begins to speak. He sounds hollowed out, gutted. For over 40 years, I ignored the rest of the world. I ignored the media and the military, the board of directors at Gil, and my little brother. No, especially my little brother. I couldn't listen to them because I knew that I was right. I knew what had to be done. What they were all blind to. I was Hermie's big brother. I was the great and celebrated Dragon Slayer. I knew better. He makes a sweeping gesture, a look of contempt on his face. You see this lab, the complex you're standing in, and the plan that it was built to serve. I sacrificed everything for this. My job, my health, family. I was prepared to sacrifice Berlin, to lead those people to the same fires that I spent my youth trying to extinguish. And all the while, Hermie was trying to tell me that I wasn't right, and I refused to listen. My refusal killed him, my little brother, the person I owed most in the world. He covers his face with a withered hand. If only I had heard him, none of this would have happened. Guilt trip. I'll be damned. I think you talked him out of it. The old man lets out a heavy sigh, his entire body trembling. When he recovers, he looks almost like a different man, tired and frail, defeated. My cure, the panacea, it isn't ready. I was ready to turn a blind eye to the flaws and deploy it anyway, but my eyes are open now, and I do not like what I see. O, buti naman. Tsaka thank you sa 2 karma. I cannot change what's been done. I can't. I can't bring Hermie back, but I can put a stop to this. I can finally listen to what he was always trying to tell me, to what I would never hear him say, and so I shall. I know that this is a hard decision, Claire, but it's the right one. He stares at his trembling hands, a sad smile on his face. More than 4 decades of planning, all undone in the span of a single conversation. My brother's words, delivered through the mouth of a criminal. I finally listened, Hermie, 42 years too late. Paano man nasabing criminal, hindi mo nga alam kung anong ginagawa, kung anong trabaho nung main character ko. Through the speakers, you can hear the sound of the heavy footsteps approaching. Sounds of heavy footsteps approaching. Ito na si Audran, pasaway. Audran, Vauclair looks up at the orc. His voice trembles slightly. There has been a change of plans. No time for that, Doc. We're waking up the dragon's physical form right now. Everything is ready for the procedure to begin. You should see to it. There will be no procedure, Audran. The orc pauses. You're gonna have to repeat that. My plan, is flawed, fatally so. The dragon will not fly tonight. Audran stops in his tracks. He stares at Vauclair, unblinking. This must come as a shock to you. I am sorry for this. Vauclair smiles weakly. Your belief in our cause was second only to my own. The orc goes on staring at the old man for a long time. Then something in his face changes. If that's the way you feel, it's been an honor, Doctor. Vauclair smiles weakly. The honor has been pasaway. Talaga ang sarap pasagin ng pagmumukha nitong Audran na to eh. The scarred orc stares at you through the glass as Vauclair's body cools at his feet. His eyes are brimming with hate. You shouldn't have made me do that, asshole. The doc was like family to me. I didn't make you do anything. You murdered him. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh wait, I'm not. I'll cry you a river. You killed Paul Amsel. O tama, ito. Gaganti ko sa galit ka rin, ha? Sige. You'll join him soon enough. Don't you worry. But first things first. I have a dragon to release. The doctor's plan, Panacea, it won't work. He knew that in the end. It will. The dragon will die. I've seen what Panacea can do. The doc showed me tissue samples. It melted them. The dragon will die, yes, but there's no telling what else might happen. Unleashing that shit could have deadly consequences for all of us. He continues to stare at you, and oh, you son of a bitch. Walang pakialam talaga eh. Look who's talking. For all of his faults, Vauclair was a hero, and now he's dead, and it's your fault. Sira ulo. Alright, this conversation is over. When I get out of here, I'm going to kill you, understand? So you want this to happen? You're willing to kill everyone, including yourself, for it? What is this all about for you, Audran? Why the hell are you doing this? O, so, ito na lang. Prangkahin na natin siya. His lip curls into a sneer. Somehow, I doubt that. And speaking of which, did the doc tell you that you're standing in the animal research lab? It's overflowing with test subjects, and they don't play well with others. Nasty, dangerous things, and it's well past their feeding time. He punches a button, and from the corner of the room, you hear a hissing sound. Pneumatic locks sliding open. And now, if you'll excuse me, I've got the dragon to wake up. If you're still alive when I get back, I'll put a bullet in you. If you're lucky. I might even put it in your head. Quick and clean, like your pal Amsel. Sira ulo ka, gag. Manta ka. Papasagin ko ng hustong pagmumukha mo tapos namin dito. He pauses for a moment, considering. You probably shouldn't count on that though. Asa ka pa. Teka lang. Dali lang. Okay. Okay, ito na yung mga fire trait. Okay, teka. Save mo, 5 karma, wala naman mabibili. Kailangan ko 7 eh. Okay, save. Okay. Kailangan mag-survive tayo dito. Okay, nakikita ko. So, teka. Ito. Gagamitin ko na to full auto. Ano man, teka. Asa na si Glory? Glory. Bigyan mo additional ano si Glory. Okay, Glory, ka muna. Abot mo ba? 3. So, ito na muna. Bleeding. Okay, at least sinamaan. Kaya lang, hindi na maggamit yung isang skill. Ito na lang. Okay. Naman patuloy si ano, nasunog din. Sige, okay lang. Ay, teka. Ano mo na, ano, heal mo muna yung sarili mo. Ayun nga pala, hindi ko nagkamit yun. Teka. Kanto muna natin. Hindi mo makita eh. Teka. Wala namang value so hindi naman sa akin. Tinamaan na naman si ano. Abot mo ba? Hintay mo na lang. Baca. Ba yan? Okay, teka. Sorry. Okay lang. May isa pa. Okay, at least patapos na. Teka na. Teka naman na. Para tapos na. Tigas mo ah. At least tanggal na. Okay. So nag-survive tayo doon na walang ka-problema. Teka. Teka. Liwat muna tayo dito. medical supplies. Ano pa ba? Wala rin dito. Okay, kasapin na natin si Strange Woman, si Firewing. The gaunt woman paused at the glass at your approach, her haunted yellow eyes tracking your every move. When you activate the intercom, a green light activates inside the containment cell, and she flinches up at it, startled. You okay in there? So you're an ancient dragon, huh? Firewing? Ito na lang muna. Alam naman natin na sinabi na sa atin ni Clear sa yun eh. You okay in there? A small voice whispers through lips that barely move. It sounds hoarse and awkward, like a rusty lock. Help, please, help. You don't look much like a dragon. How do I free you? I don't see an instrument panel for this cell. How do I get you out of this room? Firewing? Alam natin yun eh. So, ito. The guts. Find the guts. By my body. A machine that keeps me trapped in this charity's bubble, this prison. Break it. I can't go to the guts unless I can get out of this room. Sorry, sweetheart. You're just as stuck as you are. I want to help you, but this place is sealed tight. So ito, tama eh. I know a way to free yourself. Then you help me. A deal if you agree to help to free me. Let's think this through, Raquel Siddhartha. Be careful. Okay, deal. You help me and I'll help you. Lie. Oh sure, I'll help you, promise. Tell you what, you help me out of here and I'll see what I can do. Ito. Okay, deal. You help me and I'll help you. Magsisinungaling pa, no? Kalokohan na lang yun. The woman nods enthusiastically. I will help you, grant you release, and you will repay me in kind. Yes, you can escape from this room. There is a panel in the floor. There is. You can drop down, find your way into the guts of this place. There by my body is the machine. Break it. We'll see. Got it. I'll break the machine. Switch off the intercom and walk away. Ano ba yan? Got it. I'll break the machine. So, okay. Asan yung sinasabi niyang entrance? So, hanapin natin. Asan? Ayun. Oh well. Almost done na tayo. Konti na lang. Ito na yata yung final phase nitong chapter na to. So, matatapos na natin yung game halos. You're about to transition to a new location. Continue. Ay. Time na pala guys. So, pagbaba natin, kailangan ko na i-save. At least, malapit na. Ilang episodes na lang to siguro, mga dalawa o tatlo na lang, minimum na yung dalawa. Into the dark. You squeeze through the narrow gap beneath the floor panels and climb down into a large space beneath the lab complex. Darkness surrounds you and the air smells moldy and stale. As your eyes slowly adjust to the light, you can make out the dim plains of cobweb-covered walls, scattered construction equipment, uh, uh, cobwebs and scattered construction equipment. Judging by the dust and disrepair, this place appears to have been abandoned long ago. Meanwhile, somewhere else beneath the Harfeld Manor, Paul Amsel's killer is preparing to wake a dragon and unleash it on an unsuspecting Berlin. Okay, so save na natin paglagay natin ito sa area. Okay, so compared to the lab above, this room is almost impossibly quiet. A small amount of light filters in from the narrow passage above you. There appears to be light fixtures mounted in the walls, but there is no sign of a light switch. Where the hell are we? Where the hell are we, boss? It looks abandoned. I think this place is military. Judging by our depth and the markings, I'm guessing it's an abandoned missile base. That would explain why the late Dr. Vauclair chose this place for his operation. Can't be easy to find a secret underground base big enough to house a dragon. Alright, first things first. We need to get back into the lab complex and find Audron and the worm before it's too late. Let's move. I owe Audron a bullet between the eyes and I mean to pay up. Well, that was interesting. What now? Ito na lang. We've got no choice. If we don't stop Audron from releasing the dragon, everyone in the cruise bazaar is dead. Okay, so save natin dito, guys. Next episode natin tutuloy. Wala man lang tayo nakuha ang dun. Karma points. Kailangan ko man lang at least kahit dalawa pa eh. Check natin. Kasi yung ESP control, para sana makuha ko. Anyway, save natin. Next episode, itatakal na natin itong huling area na to. Okay. Tsaka nagbago na talaga yung pananaw ko dito sa game na to. Okay na siya. Kaya lang pala talaga tayo na disgrasya nung nag-rage quit ako kasi nga under level pala tayo talaga nun. So, and okay, kaya Balasa signing off, guys. Next episode ulit.